Brown's Roofing, we put our customers first. Our expert project managers are there to answer all your questions and help you out with anything you need. When disaster strikes, either a hailstorm or a leaky roof, you need a contractor in which you can trust.
Hey folks, welcome into the Digital Weather Desk powered by CenturyNext Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. Happy Friday. Joining you too early to be considered the late live stream, too late to be considered the midday stream. We're calling it the midday stream, but it will be the last one of the day. Here's why I'm joining you late. When you work from home and you're waiting for a delivery and the delivery says it's going to be there by 1:45, you typically are going to wait, and I didn't want to get knee-deep into a live stream talking about the forecast and then have a delivery that I have to sign for show up halfway through. I'm now having to take that risk, assuming that an unidentified parcel service of some sort will make a delivery at some point in this live stream. And it's the risk that I'm having to take. And since we're joining you so late, this will be the last live stream of the day, and probably the last live stream of the weekend. I don't really expect to see anything drastic as we go into Saturday and Sunday. The pattern does change next week. We'll touch on that in just a little bit. Visible satellite doesn't show much. Radar made possible by Brown's Roofing. Schedule your free roof inspection, residential or commercial, at brownsroofingla.com. Just had the guys out yesterday post ice storm in our area. We told them to move us down the list, and because we weren't leaking or anything like that, but we did want to have the roof kind of checked over, and they said we're still good to go. But they are, again, very knowledgeable and very trustworthy guys. So I highly suggest that you schedule that roof inspection if you haven't yet. Mid to upper 70s. It's a warm afternoon, even in the wake of yesterday's cold front that brought a few isolated to scattered storms across the region. It's still quite warm. It's noticeably drier today, with dew points falling back into the 30s and 40s in many locations. And the winds have still been breezy at times. I've heard the wind chimes on occasion this afternoon, but generally in the 5 to 10 mile an hour range out of the northeast. The lack of rainfall continues to be the main weather headline. The normal precip, you normally would be aiming for 100% of your normal rainfall over a 30-day span. Don't have a lot of good news there. We haven't seen much in the way of significant rain post-ice storm. You start taking into account really the rain and the storms that we dealt with on Valentine's Day, and aside from that, we really haven't seen much. The drought monitor was updated yesterday. No big surprises there as we continue to deal with the headaches. Day planner, again, temperatures generally stay in the 70s through the rest of the afternoon, fall into the 60s tonight. Of course, your day planner made possible by the Monroe Chamber of Commerce and Leaders of Change. Learn more at monroe.org. Congratulations on the Monroe Chamber for their annual banquet and meeting yesterday evening. Was quite the success, and congratulations to our award winners as well. Check of the water vapor imagery in a fairly dry environment is in place, and so that sets us up for a quiet early half of the weekend. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports. I-20 frontage road in Monroe shows winds out of the east and then eventually swinging back around to the southeast as we go into the day tomorrow, and that continues to keep us quite warm. A cold front drapes across the area Sunday. It will bring to slightly cooler temperatures to parts of the Arklamis, but most of us will still stay quite warm. That boundary will essentially wash out across the area early parts of next week, and it leaves, as I've continued to mention, kind of an area of trapped moisture ahead of probably more significant disturbances that will start to impact our area next week. A look at the Futurecast and kind of illustrates what I'm talking about. We get through Monday, and once we get into the early parts of next week, we have a lot of moisture trapped across the southern United States, and that continues well into the latter part of next week. Now, how we take advantage of that in terms of rainfall, we can't really jump into specifics on yet, but it looks like we're going to deal with multiple rounds of showers and storms starting as early as the middle to end parts of next week, potentially through next weekend, and maybe into early next week as well. Now, for folks that have weekend plans next week, don't panic just yet, because some of the pattern changes that we're seeing kind of bleed more into early the next week, as opposed to the upcoming week. So not necessarily next week, but the week after. Whew, that's a lot to cover. And again, those are all trends, not necessarily specifics in terms of the forecast. Daytime highs today land back in the mid to upper 70s. Most of us pretty much where we are right now. Overnight lows tonight fall to near 50. Clear, cool, quiet. And a look at the 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware. All of these numbers were updated a little bit earlier this morning. I finished the forecast at around 11 o'clock. So again, if you haven't checked it between now and then, the latest numbers are there at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. Again, low 80s are expected middle parts of next week. We will probably work some rain chances back in during that stretch as well. What we deal with in terms of significant rain, severe weather, heavy rain potential, that's all on the table, but we can't really say with a high degree of certainty when we will run into those episodes or if they're even in the offing going into the early parts of next weekend. It may be, again, more in that 10 to 14-day pattern where we really start to see activity ramp up. But the pattern chart starts to change next week. And that's how the forecast is shortly before 2 o'clock on this Friday, February 27th, last work week day of the month. Obviously, cruising into March on a warm note, with the rain chances quick to follow, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Again, prolonged dry conditions and drought conditions need to be alleviated for a lot of the area, and that looks to be headed our way as we go into the first couple of days and the first couple of weeks of the month of March. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. Again, this will be the last live stream of the week. I don't really see the point in hopping in at 4, 5, 6 o'clock, considering it's already 2 o'clock with the midday live stream running a little late. And for those that join this late, of course, the forecast is not really expected to change drastically tonight or into the day tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, and then we'll address those changes for early next week as we get into next week. Could be kind of active across the region. Again, you can check the forecast whenever on the website and on the app. And Fish and Game set for 8 o'clock tonight. I will also have a little forecast refresh that'll go out at 5 p.m. just for those that don't necessarily want to sit through a 7-minute live stream that's already been recorded. Totally understand that as well. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much for making the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank, part of your day, part of your week, and just part of your routine. We'll check in with you through the weekend if anything crazy happens, and then we'll obviously keep a track of the changes as we go into next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.
The next great resource for local weather is now available.
DigitalWeatherDesk.com is your source for up-to-the-minute local weather. Add DigitalWeatherDesk.com to your favorites, download our app, and follow me on social media. The Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank.